All right, today we're diving into something pretty wild, a speculative future event called the SaaSpocalypse. Now, this is all based on some fascinating source material that imagines a technology so disruptive it could literally flip the entire software industry on its head. So, let's get right into it. Okay, get ready for this number. $300 billion. That's the absolutely staggering amount of value that the source speculates just vanished from software stocks during this hypothetical event. It's a number that's almost impossible to wrap your head around, right? And maybe the most shocking part? This didn't happen over years or even months. According to the timeline laid out in the source, this whole catastrophic market collapse went down in just a matter of days. The speed is just breathtaking. So you have to be asking, how on earth could something like this even happen? Well, let's walk through the speculative timeline of this crash to really understand the what, the when, and most importantly, the why. So picture this. It's 2025, and the software as a service industry, SaaS, all that subscription software we use every single day, it's at its absolute peak. Everything's looking great. But then, bam, February 3rd, 2026. A bombshell drops. Advanced AI agents from Anthropic show off that they can handle complex business tasks all by themselves. And the market? It doesn't just react, it panics. Instantly and brutally. You see huge companies like Snowflake, ServiceNow, Workday. Their stocks just nosedive as investors realize the entire subscription model is suddenly on very shaky ground. The technology sitting at the very heart of this entire upheaval has this really cool name, vibe coding. This is the engine that, according to the source, fueled the whole SaaSpocalypse. Let's break down what that actually means.
Now, what's so interesting here is that this isn't code. It's a prompt. This is vibe coding in action. You just describe what you want, in plain English, and an AI just generates a working application. No more messing with complex syntax, just a vibe.
So here's the key takeaway. Vibe coding, a term that was apparently coined by Andrej Karpathy, represents a total shift in how we think about making software. Instead of meticulously writing out every single line of code, developers just guide an AI with prompts. They're sort of surrendering to the vibes of what the AI spits out and then tweaking it from there. It's way less about perfect precision and much more about setting a direction. And I love this analogy from the source material. It compares old school coding to a Gregorian chant. It's methodical, it's precise, but man, you need to be a real expert. Vibe coding, though, that's like jazz fusion. It's spontaneous, it's improvisational, and it's suddenly accessible to pretty much anyone, which allows for this incredible creativity on the fly. But, like any powerful new tech, vibe coding is a classic double-edged sword. It's got this massive, massive upside, but as we're about to see, it also creates some deep and pretty dangerous problems. The main advantage is just mind-blowing speed. I mean, building a minimum viable product, an MVP, that used to take a whole team entire quarters of work, now a single person could potentially knock it out in a matter of hours. That's a compression of the creative process that is almost unbelievable. But here's the trade-off. The source highlights some pretty scary stats. Projects built this way have twice the code churn, way more bugs, and a shocking 4 times the amount of duplicated code. And security? Forget about it. We're talking almost 3 times the vulnerabilities. And here's the real kicker. For the really tricky, complex stuff, experienced developers were actually slower using it. So yeah, you get speed, but you're trading away stability and security in a big way. Now, a disruption this massive isn't going to affect everyone the same way. It basically creates a whole new industry war zone with some very clear winners and some very, very clear losers.
This table really lays out the battlefield. You can see this clear vulnerability gradient, right? At one end, you've got your productivity tools. They're facing an existential threat because their main features can be easily copied with just a simple prompt. But on the other end, you have that highly specialized software for specific industries, which is a bit more protected by things like compliance rules and regulations. Their APIs become super critical, but they're still at risk of losing users.
And this chart just visualizes that threat level perfectly. Look at that huge 70% slice for productivity tools. We're talking about companies like Notion or Asana. Their entire business model is basically sitting in the crosshairs. Why? Because a user could just ask an AI, hey, build me an app like Asana, and get most of what they need for a tiny fraction of the cost. So, in this kind of upside down world, how does a software company even survive? Well, the source material lays out a playbook for navigating this new chaotic landscape. It's called the Vanguard's Codex. All these strategies are really about building defensive moats that an AI can't easily cross. This means things like owning the essential plumbing with rock-solid APIs, totally changing your business model to charge for results instead of per user, and building up defenses around unique data and compliance. It's all about becoming either the essential infrastructure that everyone needs or the irreplaceable human expert who knows how to guide the AI. Which leaves us with this final, really thought-provoking question. The SaaS apocalypse, as it's described here, isn't just about code. It's about a fundamental shift where creating software could become as simple as just having a conversation. And in a world like that, value shifts away from just building features to crafting the narrative, guiding the AI, and owning that essential human element. The real question is, who's going to be the master storyteller?